I am Miss Community Clovia. Welcome to our Misunderstood History as we feature some powerful women in history this month. And I have a powerful woman joining me. But first and foremost, I want to talk about it. She is a product of Richmond Public Schools, JHW, Thomas Jefferson High School. Oh, Lord. And I am a product of Armstrong Kennedy High School. We call us AKC back in the day. So we're going to kick off this month talking about us being products of Richmond Public Schools. And you have some wonderful women, unsung heroes, right here in Richmond and all of Virginia that you're going to highlight this month. And I'm excited about it. And I want to let everybody know, not only is she a product of Richmond Public Schools, she's a lecturer, she's a researcher, and she's the author of this book, Black America Series, Richmond, Virginia. Elvatrice Belschese. Hey, Elva.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So I'm ready to talk to you. You know, whenever I sit down, I'm like this. So let's talk about some super powerful sisters in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
All right, I'd like to talk about two of them.
Yes.
As you know, there are 12 women who are scheduled to be memorialized in bronze at the Capitol. 4 of those ladies are African-American women.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to talk about 2 of them, Dr. Sarah Jones and Miss Virginia Randolph. Dr. Sarah Jones was born shortly after the Civil War in Albemarle County, was brought to Richmond by her family. Her father, George Board, was one of the leading black contractors for probably 4 decades. She was born in about 1866, but she graduated from Richmond Colored Normal, which became Armstrong High School in 1883.
My school. Okay.
Absolutely. And by the way, her classmate, it was only about 9 kids or so, her classmate or among her classmates, was Maggie Walker, class of 1883. But she was Sarah Garland Boyd then. Dr. Jones went on to teach for a while, and then she went to Howard University's medical school. And she graduated in 1893. So Clovia, in 1893, when Dr. Jones took the medical boards here, she became the first black woman to pass the boards and be granted a medical license to practice medicine in the state of Virginia. But we need not pigeonhole.
Sisterhood doctor.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But we need not pigeonhole it into black history. You know why?
Mm-hmm.
Because from my deeper research, I've been able to determine she was not only the first black woman to pass the boards and be granted a medical license, she is also the first known Virginia-born woman of any race to pass the medical boards of Virginia and be granted a medical license. The reason why I know that is because I've uncovered that the lady who passed them 2 years before her was a white lady from South Carolina.
Really?
So for me, it's all about expanding the narratives,
Mm-hmm.
just like we always talk about Maggie Walker being the first black lady to found and become president of a chartered bank in America. She's also the first woman of any race in the city of Richmond and also the Commonwealth of Virginia to start and found our chartered bank and become president of it. Well, why don't we talk about that? So it's all about expanding the narratives.
Yeah.
And to do that, it takes a greater and deeper research. But that's where I reside, in that deeper zone, if you will. Because, we hear about so many tragic things, but we need to talk about the accomplishments also. So Dr. Sarah Jones's exploits did not stop there. She, along with her husband, Dr. Miles Jones, and several other black professionals, went on to start the Richmond Hospital and Training School for Nurses in 1902. It opened in 1903. Clovia, that hospital continues today as Bon Secours Richmond Community Hospital.
Really?
So over
Isn't
112 years ago, they had that foresight because they knew and they were attuned to those healthcare disparities.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to do something about it. Because you see, back then, you graduated from Howard or Meharry or the Leonard Medical School of Shaw, you were dressed up with nowhere to go. You could not treat your patients in white-run hospitals. So in order to maintain the surgical skills that they acquired in medical schools,
Yes.
they had to start their own hospitals. But imagine, our Bon Secours Richmond Community Hospital is one of the few hospitals in America that still exists that was created as a black-owned and run hospital.
And it's on Churchill.
Absolutely.
And Elva.
But it's personal for me because I was born in Richmond Community Hospital.
I was born in Richmond Memorial.
When it was Douglas Court,
Yeah.
on Overbrook. So
Yeah.
that's a person. So I am her biographer. for the African American National Biography that's published by Harvard and Oxford University Press. But I'm also working on a documentary on it because it has to be told. Absolutely.
I like what you said. Not only are we talking about women in history and the first African American, no, let's talk about the first African American and woman
Yes.
to do it.
Yes.
Because now you're integrating it.
Absolutely.
And it's more than just, oh, well, she's the first African American and she's going to be the only first. No, we're talking about the first African American and a woman.
Yes.
And so with our Misunderstood History, the series that we're going to do, 365, we have to talk about the education of us. And if it's not going to be in the classrooms, we have to talk about it on Radio 1.
Absolutely.
Elva, we're going to continue the conversation. It's Women in History Month. This is Real Education. Elva, get the book. I am this community Clovia.